Oh,
Thank you,
Frankie.
Melly Mel.
Frankie to the rescue. You know, it's the whole
Here we
bring
go.
your pet to work day.
Okay.
Today it's bring your pest to work day.
And we did, look.
Frankie brought his little pest in a jar.
Well, we found that guy today.
Okay, that's okay.
We found that guy today.
We found that guy today. That's
Yeah.
okay. What is that, Frank?
That's centipede, millipede. You know, these are common. So pass it over here.
Oh, they're getting a shot of it.
No,
They're getting
that's
And I
okay.
can take it out. I'll take it out. I'll put it in my
Oh
hand.
my gosh, Frank.
Yeah. We'll put it in my hand.
Okay,
here.
let's just remove my
Right, we'll
jimmies
just
and my
do
phone.
this.
You're
Well-
very brave. You are very. Oh,
He's
there it
a
goes.
fast one.
Oh, no!
So that is one of the oldest school ways of taking care of bugs.
Don't shake hands with me later,
It's-
okay?
you know, I know.
Did you
I
just do that on air?
I just did that on air, but
I'm
if
traumatized.
If you
Are
look
you
at one of
okay?
the oldest ways to
okay.
take care of a bug,
Look what you've done.
Are you upset about that?
I'm not upset about the bug. I can't believe you held it with your hand.
Okay, one of the oldest ways is pick and squish. Pick and squish is one of the oldest ways to take care of bugs. And right now we have a cosmetic pesticide ban in Ontario, and really that's pretty much across the country. So now in terms of solutions, sometimes you got to use old school method. That's one of the oldest. Another old school method is what pioneers used to do.
Yeah.
After having a bath, instead of throwing that water down the drain, they take that soapy water, pour it over the vegetable garden.
Really?
Yeah.
And the soap wouldn't bug it up? It was clean soap, though, right?
It would be clean soap. Wouldn't bug the plants whatsoever, but I like dish soap, like an insecticidal soap, but actually be preventative ways at making sure that insects are not going to harm any of those plants that you have out there. So that's a good way.
How often do you have to put it up? When you have your bath?
When you have your bath. But
So
insecticidal...
the soap would
The soap puts a coating
suffocate.
on, puts a coating, and a lot of the times, if bugs are there, soap with even olive oil, with an oil, and there's many solutions that you can do, home remedies online, will actually coat the insects and suffocate those insects. So that's for soft-shelled insects. Doesn't work for things like beetles. Say for like a beetle, let's say that you go to your home and you have June bugs or even an Asian beetle on a bunch of different plants that are there. They're totally dormant on cool mornings. So what you can do is on a cool morning, you can put a bed sheet underneath those plants. They're dormant. You can just shake the plant. They'll all fall into the bed sheet. You just pick up that bed sheet and then throw it into the garbage or discard them at that moment. Yeah.
Just put a plastic bag down, shake it out, and away you go.
There.
Like you're harvesting
Okay.
almonds or
Yeah.
something.
One of the biggest insects indoors right now causing people frustration are fruit flies.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and fruit flies are alcoholics. Okay, the reason why they enjoy fruit, and they're called fruit flies, as the fruit ripens, there's fermentation that happens. That fermentation is what the fruit fly is attracted to. So if you want to build a really simple fruit fly trap, you can take the wine there, Roger, put a little bit of wine into that
what a waste
mason
of the
jar.
wine, Frankie.
And you can just, it's a twist off.
This
So
has
it's
got to
really-
be old wine. It's
It's
King
a-
Crawford, nice choice.
I love
Pinot
King
Noir.
Crawford.
Pinot.
Really important too. You can see that's a twist off, but if you had any somewhat,
much?
that's enough
That's
right
enough?
there. Then what you're going to do is we're just going to throw this on top, which is saran wrap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just right there, a little bit of saran wrap.
Oh,
I like
you're
using a
happy.
mason jar because that will just firmly keep it attached. Then what you're going to do is just poke a few holes into the top, just like this. Those fruit flies will then fly into the hole. They'll fly into the wine. They won't come out of the hole, and that's just a basic fruit fly trap that you
They
can
can't
create.
get out through those holes
No,
again?
they get disoriented. They can't figure their way back out, and often they'll drown in the wine because they're alcoholics.
You taught me the apple cider vinegar, Frankie, with dish detergent, because sometimes they'll drink the vinegar and pop out, but the
Dish
soap
detergent will
coats
actually
it.
coats them, and then they can't fly.
Because they're
as well.
soft-bodied, right?
Yeah,
I use it all the time.
Soap is really a good thing that you can use over. So borax, another thing that we can do with borax, if we took borax and we were to mix borax and 50% sugar, we did a mixture of the two together, any ideas what that's going to take care of for you?
No.
Beetles.
No.
I have no idea.
Earwigs.
Probably, okay, we'll talk about earwigs in a second. Well, actually, we'll talk about earwigs right now.
All right.
So earwigs, this is an earwig trap. All you have to do for earwigs are nocturnal, meaning that as soon as the sun comes out, they look for dark spaces. If you moisten a newspaper roll tied with an elastic, put that in your garden or anywhere you find earwigs, as soon as the sun comes up, the earwigs will all go into this little wrapping, this little tube that we have. You pick up the tube, you throw it in the
it out.
garbage, boom, they're gone.
Now,
Careful
do
how
the
you
earwigs
handle
do
it.
any good in the garden?
Earwigs, they don't do a lot of good. They eat decay. So if you have a wood pile, that's often where you have wood, where you have a lot of earwigs. Garden areas that are not kept that clean, you'll have a lot of earwigs with that. But back to the borax and the sugar, a 50-50 mixture, one of the coolest insects. I love insects, by the way. Ants, to me, are one of the coolest things.
Yep.
The colony they can build, the way they work together. But if we want to get rid of some ants, garden ants and others, what will happen is the borax and sugar mixture will be taken by the worker ants, brought back to the colony, fed to the colony, but more importantly, fed to the queen ant. Once you kill the queen, you kill the colony. So this is really a bait solution. You can buy other ant baits that are out there. You can see the Ortho Home Defense there. That's what you can spray on the outside of your doors just to make sure ants are not going to come in and things like that.
But do you have to do that every time it rains, right, Frank?
Every time it does rain.
And they're all safe, and they're all safe for people around you as well, which is nice, right?
Yeah. Yeah. In the UK, what they often do is walk around their gardens with salt. The reason why they walk around their gardens with salt is anytime they see a slug, they'll actually put a pinch of salt on that slug.
Dries it.
It dries that slug
and that's all
right
it takes,
out.
just a pinch.
Just a pinch. It'll dehydrate that slug. And another thing that we can do with slugs is take some beer, and we can put beer. I love. This is the reason to
I almost
drink.
want to be an insect. They
Yeah.
seem to party, don't they?
We can put some beer into a container like that. We're going to bury that container to ground level. The slugs and snails will walk in and will go into the beer and will drown. The beer will attract them.
And you'll probably find your neighbors in there too, more than likely.
Yeah, it's
Look at
also
that
a reason
slug
why
life.
you can say a little bit for you and a little bit for me. But those are just a few old school solutions. There's so many that are out there to take care of some of the bugs that are
And they
bugging
work
you.
too, don't they?
They do, yeah.
What was
Actually, there's a
the,
study on beer and slugs. Which beer tracks the best?
Which one is it?
In the U.S., it was a U.S. study. It was Budweiser in the U.S.
Oh.
So there hasn't been a study done with Canadian beer yet. Maybe I'll do that.
The vinegar.
Well, we don't want to give up our Canadian
Vinegar
beer,
is
though.
great for weeds. Full-strength vinegar on weeds in a sunny area will burn the weed and kill the weed. So sometimes weeds are bugging people. Baking soda is usually used for disease, so box spot and things like that.
Okay, Frankie,
Yeah.
natural solutions
Beautiful,
to
Frankie.
keep the
Thank
bugs
you.
out. And apparently our spirit animals are fruit flies and slugs. Living the slug
You
life.
said that in the meeting yesterday.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
More on BT after the break.
It's so nice. I used it twice.
Yeah.